Hi, my name is Dr. Lumina. Welcome to this journey through marketing. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of digital influence through our session on the influence ecosystem, part of the course Foundations of Influencer Marketing. In this session, we'll explore how influence spreads across networks, the role of trust and credibility, the impact of social behavior, and the tools used to measure influence effectively. We'll unpack the theories and trends shaping this dynamic industry and equip you with the conceptual tools to navigate it with confidence. Let's begin our exploration. Foundations of Influencer Marketing, the influence ecosystem. Let's start with a big picture view. Influencer marketing is more than product placement. It's a dynamic ecosystem made up of digital platforms, influencers, and audiences. This triad works together to create a flow of information, trust, and engagement. Understanding how these elements interact is key to mastering influence. Throughout this course, we'll explore the mechanics of this ecosystem and how it impacts modern marketing. Two-step flow theory. Overview. The two-step flow theory revolutionized how we think about media influence. It proposes that media doesn't directly shape public opinion. Instead, it flows first to opinion leaders, our modern-day influencers, who then interpret and share it with their followers. This creates a filtered, trusted channel of communication. It emphasizes the power of interpersonal relationships in shaping behavior, which is why influencer marketing works so well. Two-step flow theory. Key concepts. Here we dig deeper into the mechanics of the two-step flow. Influencers act as trusted interpreters of information, making content relatable to their niche. The audience doesn't consume raw content. They rely on influencers to simplify, contextualize, and even validate it. This is particularly important in the age of information overload, where audiences need trusted guides. Influencers become more than promoters. They're filters and translators of meaning. Impact on consumer behavior. Introduction. Consumer behavior is at the heart of marketing, and in today's digital age, it's more complex than ever. Social platforms have fundamentally changed how we make decisions. Influencers create real-time access to trends, reviews, and peer recommendations. This has shifted power from traditional ads to people we perceive as peers. Understanding this shift helps marketers design more effective, human-centered campaigns. Impact on consumer behavior, how it works. Influence works through emotional and social mechanisms. When consumers feel connected to an influencer, they're more likely to trust their recommendations. This is amplified by social validation. When many people like or buy something, we feel more confident doing the same. Influencers also spark trends that create herd-like behavior. These mechanisms make influencer marketing highly effective when done authentically. Role of trust. Introduction. Trust is the foundation of every successful influencer relationship. Audiences follow influencers not just for content, but for consistent, trustworthy perspectives. Without trust, influence collapses. Brands must understand that borrowing this trust through partnerships is both powerful and delicate. This is why influencer selection matters more than sheer reach. Role of trust. Building trust in marketing. How do influencers build trust? Authenticity and consistency. Audiences can sense when content is forced or purely transactional. The most effective influencers share content that aligns with their voice and values. Repeated, consistent communication over time builds familiarity and loyalty. This authenticity is the gold standard of modern marketing. Credibility factors. Understanding. Credibility. Credibility goes beyond trust. It's about perceived expertise and authority. Influencers who specialize in a niche, whether beauty, finance, or fitness, gain more traction because their audience sees them as experts. A strong history of successful collaborations enhances this effect. Credibility amplifies influence and leads to more decisive consumer action. Credibility factors. How credibility affects influence. When influencers are seen as credible, their ability to persuade skyrockets. Credibility enhances every message they share, making product endorsements feel like personal advice. Partnering with trusted brands also boosts credibility in the audience's eyes. This creates a feedback loop of trust and influence. It's one of the key reasons influencer brand alignment is critical. Social proof. Introduction. Social proof is the psychological phenomenon where people follow the crowd. When we see others buying, using, or endorsing a product, we're more likely to do the same. Influencer marketing leverages this by showcasing likes, comments, and user reactions. It tells the audience, this is popular, and you'll like it too. It's simple, but powerful. Social proof, importance in influencer marketing. In marketing, social proof builds confidence. It's especially effective with hesitant consumers. When an influencer's post is flooded with positive feedback, it sends a signal. This recommendation is trusted. Brands benefit because the influencer's existing relationship with the audience validates the promotion. It reduces friction in the decision-making process. Herd behavior. Understanding. Herd behavior. Herd behavior is similar to social proof, but driven more by subconscious alignment. People mimic what others are doing, especially in uncertain environments. In influencer marketing, this is why viral challenges and product drops are so effective. People don't want to be left out. Influencers who tap into this behavior can spark mass participation with minimal effort. Herd behavior. Effects on consumer choices. This behavior affects product launches, reviews, and even backlash. If a product is perceived as trending, it gains momentum fast. The inverse is also true. A negative influencer experience can spiral into mass rejection. Understanding this helps brands prepare for both growth and crisis. Herd behavior must be managed, not just triggered. Influence types. Direct versus indirect influence. Not all influence is created equal. Direct influence leads to immediate action. Clicking a link, buying a product. Indirect influence is more subtle. It shapes long-term opinions, preferences, and brand associations. Both are important. Campaigns focused solely on quick wins may miss the lasting value of indirect relationship building. Influence types. Strong versus weak influence. Strong influence comes from deep engagement and trust. Weak influence may still generate reach, but with lower impact. A small but loyal following often outperforms a large, disengaged one. That's why nano and micro-influencers are rising in importance. Depth often beats breadth in today's ecosystem. Measuring influence. Tools and metrics. To optimize campaigns, we must measure them. Key metrics include engagement rate, impressions, and reach. Engagement tells us how connected the audience is. Reach and impressions tell us how many people are being exposed. Combined, they offer a snapshot of visibility and resonance. Metrics are the mirror of your influence. Measuring influence. Key indicators of effectiveness. Beyond basic metrics, ROI and sentiment analysis give deeper insight. ROI shows the financial return from influencer partnerships. Sentiment analysis tracks the emotional tone. Are people happy, skeptical, excited? These tools help marketers evaluate not just performance, but perception. And perception often drives purchase decisions. The power of influence ecosystem. The influence ecosystem thrives on interdependence. Brands, influencers, and audiences each play a role. When aligned, the system creates mutual value. Brands gain reach, influencers gain income and credibility, audiences gain trusted content. This synergy is what makes influencer marketing so potent and sustainable. Future trends in influencer marketing. Looking ahead, technology will reshape the landscape. AI will help identify better influencer matches and optimize content. Micro-influencers will rise as authenticity becomes the gold standard. Metrics will become more sophisticated. But one thing will stay the same. Human connection will remain the heart of influence. And that perhaps is the most exciting part.